said that you have been cautiously optimistic in the past, and you've had the talks with the NATO ministers. Now there are talks in Turkey. I want to know, considering we were hoping that the leaders would meet, and that's not the case,
no.
Do you think that it's been a failure? Do you think Putin is...
I think Putin made a mistake by sending a low-level delegation with this historian leading that delegation, who was also there in the talks in 2022. The ball is clearly in his part of the field now, in his court. He has to play ball. He has to be serious about wanting peace. So I think all the pressure is now on Putin.
What has to happen to you understand that ball is not on his side?
He realizes this. I know him very well. We did a lot of negotiations between when I was Prime Minister of the Netherlands. He knows extremely well that the ball is in his court, that he is in trouble, that he made a big mistake by sending this low-level delegation. And I think it is very good that the Ukrainians have come to the table. They have sent a delegation which is really willing to negotiate a ceasefire, etc. I'm so happy about the role the US is playing. It is really important. President Trump breaking the deadlock, clearly taking a lead on all of this, which is extremely useful and important.
What can you realistically do on Russia, given the problems we have overnight?
Well, I think that what we saw yesterday and overnight is yet more evidence that Putin is not serious about peace. He's been dragging his heels. And I think it's really important, therefore, that we have absolute unity with our allies. We'll be working on that again today to be clear that there must be a ceasefire, but also to be clear that should there not be a ceasefire, then we will act together in relation to sanctions. But for me, this is clear evidence that Putin doesn't seriously want peace. He's dragging his heels, and that's why today is a really important opportunity to work with colleagues to make sure that we are absolutely united. And President Zelensky will be here today, so we will be discussing the situation with him.
On the Brexit reset, how are the talks going? Will you have talks on the sidelines ahead of the Monday summit?
Well, in the last 2 weeks, you've seen the UK do a trade deal with India, really important for our country and our national interest. Trade deal with the US, again important for our country and national interest. I'm positive going into Monday, and I think that this is an important moment for our country that will be measured in the benefits to working people and their living standards. But we're positive as we go into the summit on Monday. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The European political community was once founded when Russia's war of aggression started. It was founded to shape a European answer and to make sure that we have stability on the European continent. Now we are 3 years on, and we could witness all during the last days President Putin's true belief. He first called for a ceasefire around the anniversaries of the 9th of May, which he then never respected. Then Ukraine, with the support of the European Union and the United States, called for full and unconditional ceasefire over 30 days, which President Putin then rejected. And finally, he offered a meeting directly between Ukraine and Russia in Turkey, but President Zelensky was ready to meet. President Putin never showed up. And this shows the true belief of President Putin. He does not want peace. So we have to increase the pressure. And this is why we're working on a new package of sanctions. This package will include, for example, sanctions on Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2. It will include working on listing more vessels of the Russian shadow fleet and also lowering the oil price cap. And it will include more sanctions on the financial sector in Russia. For us it's important, we want peace, and therefore we have to increase the pressure on President Putin till he is ready for peace. We're working on a new package of sanctions that include sanctions against Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2, but also listing more vessels in the shadow fleet and lowering the oil price cap, and finally more financial sanctions on the Russian financial sector, because we want peace and we have to increase the pressure till President Putin is ready.